Introduction: How to find your passion. We tend to overuse the word love. You may love to write or play the piano, but are you really passionate? This book will help you find out if you have succeeded in finding your passion. In this book, you will learn: how do I know if I've found my passion? How to find your element. What are the different forms of intelligence? How to find your element by finding your tribe. How to overcome the obstacles that prevent you from finding your element. Is it too late to find your element? Our answers to these questions are easy to understand, simple to implement, and quick to execute. Ready to find your passion? Let's go. How do I know if I've found my passion? When we've found what truly motivates us, we often say we're in our element, referring to a sense of fulfillment and connection with your true identity and purpose. To know if you've found your element, ask yourself if you have these two characteristics. Ability is what we call talent. It is the natural and intuitive ability to accomplish something. For example, having a voice that is perfectly suited for opera. But it's not enough to be in your element. You also have to be passionate about an activity. This translates into feeling pleasure in what you are doing. This will allow you to train longer and enjoy every minute of it. For example, practicing for hours on end playing a musical instrument. Not because you have to, but because it's what you love to do. How do you find your element? It's not enough to rely on luck to find your element. First of all, you have to have the right attitude. That is, you need to have an open-minded attitude that will allow you to foster your ambition and persevere every step of the way. But you also need opportunities, which can come to you in different forms. And once you've identified it, you need to seize it. For example, you can be the best pearl diver in the world, but if you live in the Sahara Desert, are closed-minded and don't have the opportunity to try this profession, then you will not meet your element. What are the different forms of intelligence? Each person has a unique intelligence, like a fingerprint. No two people use their intelligence in the same way. For example, to learn architecture, some people study math and engineering, others travel the world, observing structures and shapes to help them achieve the same goal. Therefore, when looking for your element, it is essential to be aware of the multiple forms that intelligence takes and not to limit yourself to a standard academic definition. Furthermore, intelligence is a dynamic force. It is not fixed and develops by making connections in various ways. For example, when Einstein was faced with a complex mathematical problem, he played the violin. This change encouraged new connections in his mind and allowed him to find solutions that were not otherwise feasible. How do you find your element? By finding your tribe. Meeting like-minded people, whether you work with them or they are your competitors, will make it easier to find your element. But how do you know if this tribe you've just joined will help you find your element? Well, if you are completely engaged, that is, if you lose track of time doing things that feel natural to you and everything around you disappears, then you have found your element. Of course, there are limits to this. Sometimes the situation is just not right or your mood is not appropriate. You will then be distracted, and it is important to accept this. How do you overcome the obstacles that prevent you from finding your element? You probably have a goal that you think you'll never achieve. This is normal. Everyone is confronted with doubts about their abilities, and especially when you are looking for your element. You must therefore develop a strong will. Remember that even a perfectly healthy person can't finish a marathon without a good attitude. In other cases, the obstacles are not personal but social. For example, if the people around you despise the path you have chosen in life, it is important not to listen to people's opinions about what they think is best for you. Only you can find your element. Is it too late to find your element? Finding your element at an advanced age may seem too late, but it rarely is. Of course, it's normal that at 60, you won't break the world record in the 100-meter dash. But at that age, you're still capable of doing certain things. For example, going back to school and getting the degree you always wanted. And even if it doesn't lead to a professional career, you can still be in your element as an amateur. After all, you're not in it for the money or the fame. For example, if you have to choose between your passion for music and a job in which you are in your element, it is commendable to prefer the latter because you will be more financially stable than the other choice. Conclusion: everyone can find their passion, an activity in which they feel totally committed and fulfilled. And keep in mind that neither age, nor professional status, nor personal obstacles are obstacles to the realization of your passion. If you like the summary, click on one of our partner links to discover the element. How Finding Your Passion Changes Everything by Ken Robinson. Lou Aronica in ebook, book or audiobook format. And if you're not interested in reading further, we recommend you discover Dopamine Nation, Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence by Anna Lembke. Introduction: How to Stop Overconsuming. We live in a world of abundance and overconsumption to numb the pain in our lives. But usually, this burst of happiness is short-lived. By finding a balance between pleasure and pain, you will overcome your compulsive desire to overconsume and become happier. In this book, you will learn: how did we become addicted to overconsumption? Why do we suffer more when we overconsume? Why does pleasure inevitably lead to pain? How can abstinence get you out of an addiction? How can pain increase dopamine levels in the blood? How can you successfully complete your sobriety? Our answers to these questions are easy to understand, simple to implement, and quick to execute. Ready to stop overusing? Let's go.